Hello, my name is Jay, and welcome back to my Tech Vault. And today I'm going to talk about my system right here. This is $30 out of yard sale parts and things that I've gotten out of the trash and extra leftovers from builds. And overall, this whole thing cost me $30. But I want to take today to talk about some of the problems that's come up why I haven't been able to benchmark it, because I'm hopefully going to get that video out tomorrow. I have some stuff in the mail that should allow me to do that, and then I can actually benchmark it and so you guys can see the results. I'm actually really excited because this is a really interesting system, and so when we go through and we benchmark it, I'm really excited to see what we get. But I want to take today to talk about the problems that I've had. So currently, right now, the Ethernet port is actually broken. That's right, the Ethernet port, sometimes I'll have lights turn on, sometimes it won't. I think technically something has come off the motherboard, and when you press it a certain way you make contact and therefore you can get a signal, but it's not something reliable. So like for me, when I'm messing around and I'm unplugging switches and unplugging stuff in my switch and doing things like that, it just a slight tug can disconnect that contact, and then it's not really playable. You lose whatever game you're playing, etc., which is not something you really want. Now, obviously, since this is a system that's going to be used as a LAN system, I originally was going to sell this for a much larger price, but since Christmas is coming around, I'm actually going to turn it into a LAN machine. Get a monitor on the back, nail that in, make a really put a monitor on the back, get basically a travel system, get like a candle and stuff. I'll basically mod this thing up so it's a travel PC. But the big thing is I really want something that also I can give to my brother, since that's what he goes to a lot of more LAN parties than I do. I prefer doing other things with my time, but that's perfectly fine with him. Just give him something that he can enjoy and go through and have a LAN party PC, which I think is really cool. So first off, let's just talk. As I said, so the Ethernet port is broken. I've got something in the mail. I have a Wi-Fi adapter that I'll be getting that I'll put in there, and that basically will just allow for me to go through and connect to the internet and test things, but also go through and download games, connect to the internet, all the basic necessities nowadays. Also, a couple slight differences as well. The front of this, so this case supports USB 3.0, but there are no USB 3.0 slots on the motherboard, meaning that I can't use those ports, which is a little disappointing because I have to explain to my brother, hey, these don't work, you can't use them because there's no support for them. A couple other issues that I've had, since these are used parts and since this whole cost of the system was about 30 bucks, I'm going to make a quick discrepancy about that. First off, this case was a separate 10 bucks, but I did get a case with the original 30 bucks, so I'm going to just break it even. The original case is actually sitting down here. So pretty much I just went through and I switched the cases out. Why? Because my brother is a big fan of blue. It's his favorite color. So since the case was just plain, I thought I'd switch out with a different case I had and basically make things look really, really cool. Get a bunch of the blue fans that I actually had left over from his build, throw them in here, his main computer build, and just get them all set up. So it looks like a nice shiny blue system. So we've got something that at least looks relatively nice. This also has a tempered or a regular side panel. It's a plastic side panel. So basically he can kind of see into the case. This will probably be facing outwards while the monitor will be on the back. Take this panel and just go through and mount the monitor on the back. I think that'd be really cool. As for keyboard and mouse, this is just a leftover one that I think I got sponsored a while back for. So a couple other parts, just to go over like what we've got here. Like this cooler right here, it actually has broken the mounts for the fan itself have broken off. So I went through and I took some zip ties and stuff and I actually mounted it using the zip ties and wire ties. So that fan is now mounted, not necessarily officially. Excuse me. And then I also am going to just do a little bit more work on mounting and putting maybe an LED strip or something around the edge. I think it'd be really cool to have like a nice little LED strip, make things look pretty. Then also go through and maybe mount the hard drive that kind of should be mounted, and maybe do a little bit more management and clean up on the cable do a little bit more cable management. But overall, this system has just been a lot of problems, but I think it's definitely something worth it because it's such a well-rounded system that I don't think anything will bottleneck. I'm happy to see what the new processor does, the more RAM does, because I benchmarked this system back here. This was a system that I previously had. This was from the $75 gaming PC, and while this was about like it was a pretty good player. This is much better in the sense that I obviously use the same graphics card, but like you got more RAM in the system, you got a better CPU. It's just you better got a better hard drive. It's just there's a lot more better things about it. So I'm really looking forward to seeing this, especially because this will be a good system for us, for my brother to take to his LAN parties. But that also raises the question, what do you guys want me to do? Because obviously if the Ethernet port is broken, I do have a Wi-Fi adapter. I can always switch out the system, and I've tested. I know the system's Ethernet port does work. But I think that with the Wi-Fi adapter and all that stuff in the mail, I think I'll go through and just basically just keep the system, because I really want to get that performance, especially since it's different CPUs. This is an i5 660 and this is an i5 750. So basically higher clock speed slightly, though this is 25% better according to CPU Benchmark. So that's the other thing, is I'll probably just keep the system all together. But thank you very much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, comments, stuff down below. The next video should definitely be a benchmarking video. I hopefully will have all the benchmarking done, and y'all can check that out. And I promise you, it will at least. I'm really interested to see what 30 bucks gets you. If you know what you're doing and you have a low budget, what does 30 bucks get you? That's what this whole series is going to answer. So thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.